Welcome back. Thanks for watching. This is the 2023 Winchester Circuit Race 35 plus 123. We are just getting underway on our second of 5 laps here. This is about a little over 4 mile per lap. I think 700 feet of climbing each lap as well. Not a lot of wind. Fun race. I think the key in this one is to, maximize the downhills and carry as much speed into the uphills to conserve energy when you can. I put a little effort in here after I kind of rolled through one of those downhills and trying to size up the field. Put some maybe fatigue in. Figure out who's fit, who's not, that kind of stuff. This was my ninth race in 8 days, if I count El Viso and Pumpkin Valley. And then I did Golden State Friday, Saturday, Sunday, in which I doubled up. So I was carrying, as you'll see later in the video, definitely too much fatigue coming into this race. Plus, it wasn't hot, but it was the hottest race of the year so far. It felt, and I don't know, I just didn't have the snap I was hoping to have. Plus, I was pretty heavily marked. So this little kicker right here, about halfway through the lap, again on the second lap, that's a good spot to kind of attack across the top because you got a downhill coming up, and I go down the hill probably as fast as anyone out here. But this year, there's the USAC has adopted the UCI rules, so there's no puppy paws and no top tube tuck. And I think I won this race the last 2 years in a row, using both. Really, the top tube tuck on one of these high speed descents really was useful for me in creating separation. I think 2 years ago I rode away solo and just rode it in. I think last year I countered a thirsty bear attack on like the final lap. Maybe it was the last descent before the final climb or the one before that, but I was able to create enough separation that the finish line didn't have to contest the climbing finish, uphill finish. So still able to go fast. I put narrow bars. Some of you guys have seen them. So although I can't puppy paw, my bars are 32.5 centimeters at the hoods. They flare to 38, so I can still sprint or try to sprint, I guess, depending on who you ask. And this is another little hill we're coming into. What I found, and what you'll probably see later on through the race, is if I slow up, the field kind of slows up. And so I was okay letting one or two guys go, thinking if they can get up the road, maybe I can attack and kind of solo bridge across, or take one guy or two guys or something. But definitely try to reduce the field and stay on the front of the race. There's Ariel, that's Brian Schuster's teammate, Thirsty Bear with the Stars and Stripes. Ariel, I think, worked more for Brian in this one. I don't know, but I just sense that this race definitely favors Brian Schuster, who's definitely got a climber's kind of racer's profile. So this course suited him on the ups. I'm not a great climber, but I go down fast. But in order to go down, you have to go up. So you'll see. I'm able to kind of slingshot past people without a lot of effort, create some separation. But I just couldn't capitalize or turn it into much. So we're coming down here. I think we got 2 more up and downs, and then the little finishing climb, which will start the third lap of the race. But I'm 0 watts, and apologize for the little picture-in-picture, but you can see we kind of make our way down, and I'm able to pass everyone. Kind of slingshot pass. I think my top speed, I looked at my file, I think I hit 57 miles an hour at some point. But you're going 50 plus, and you can't can't really pedal to catch up. So it's just, it's a game of trying to stay in someone's draft, trying to stay arrow, all those things. But this just kind of, that doesn't hurt me power wise to take the front or to go up the road if it's a, a 0 watt downhill descent. And to kind of see if there is some separation that, can be capitalized on. I kind of like that downhill into this little flat to uphill, because if you really power through this shorter section here, you see the top of this little climb here is right here, and then the final little downhill before the finishing climb, a good spot to try to really get separation. But we're back together, so I'm not gonna blow my watts too much. I think that's Italia. This might be where I just let him go up the road. No one else seems concerned, and it's not my obligation to chase everything down. I don't know if he gets away here or not. Let's see if I might be misremembering. Yeah, I was just trying to figure out what the right strategy was given the composition of the field, and trying to read people's motives and motivations and such. Let me bring him back here again. 0 watts, easy to to close without having to put down power. I think he might get away on the next lap. It might not be right here. So I mean, we're going. It's not super steep. I didn't put the gradient here, but I mean, certainly you can go faster than 11 miles an hour. But I'm kind of I'm letting him dangle, and if no one else wants to close it down, again, I'm okay with him getting up the road. Thought being I could come across a little bit later, and the later you join at the break, typically the fresher you are. So if he's solo in the wind for 2 laps before anyone gets up to him, whoever that person is, me or other, are going to have a better opportunity to win out. Yeah, and so he put a good little attack in there, just to kind of open it up. And so I think that might be the last we see him. So 1K to go to the finish. This is kind of final little downhill roller into the little climby finish. So again, I try to carry as much speed there as I can. He's still definitely within sight, and does anyone really want to empty it to get across to him or to shut it down? Again, I'm not trying to shut it down. His teammates on my rear camera there. I'm trying to remember what the name of their team is. See if I can do some research while I'm jabbering. Yeah, all the results for these races are on ontheday.net, which is really cool because you can, look at your phone at the race when they're posted. You can see the start list, all kinds of good stuff. So the black kit is Work Health Solutions Racing. And so there's 2 of them in the race. There's 2 Thirsty Bear. I think there's a couple. I think it's Dolce Vita is the team, right in the middle of the rear view and right on the front of us. But I don't think anyone had more than no more than 2 per team kind of represented. So it's just kind of an interesting dynamic. But you see, it's we're just finishing the second lap. It's 5 laps. It's hot. It's hard. No one was really overly concerned about trying to bring back Italia right there. He's the rider up the road. So everyone's just kind of looking around a little bit. Like, is anyone going to chase us? We know, I think Adam is the fellow's name, Italia's teammate. We know he's not going to chase it, right? Because you're not going to chase your teammate down in a breakaway. This is the last little punch here up to the finish. And then the climb actually tops out maybe a couple hundred meters beyond that. officials, scoring 10 up there on the left side. And so it's around 11 minutes a lap, maybe something like that. I mean, I started this maybe a minute into the second lap, so this is lap 3 of 5. There's the start finish line. Shoom. So we're starting lap number 3 of 5. And I was okay to kind of sag back here because once it flattens out, it's kind of flat and open rollers. Trying to conserve where I can, and no point in drilling it up this thing if I can get up the road. Once it tops out without having to expend a ton of energy. Plus, it was coming up there. It was kind of a right to left, so I kind of favor the center line a little bit, just to little marginal gains, marginal shelter. We're going 10 miles an hour on a climb, but if there's wind, why not be on the sheltered side? And you see Brian Schuster, front and center in my screen. He's probably watching me. I mean, everyone's kind of watching me. And I'm definitely watching him because, a ton of respect for him. I've raced a fair amount with him. Baker City, Oregon. Got a long breakaway there. I think I raced him at either Pine Flat or Cantua. But, anything that's got some climbing in it, he's a good climber. Kind of let some guys through. Starting the third lap here, so we're still all together. Again, the timer there that started when I started filming. So just to give you some time reference, we're probably 23 minutes, 24 minutes into the race, something like that. A little acceleration. Yeah, so on this side of the course, it's left to right as we're heading this direction. So, the riders tend to stay to the right side. Try to move up on the right side when we can, just to conserve energy, conserve speed on downhills, accelerate, past them, all that stuff. So, yeah, I think we're all tempted to kind of top tube tuck on these little downhills, but you do the best everything but. So you try to put your chest as low as you can, but keeping your kind of butt on the saddle. I can put my hands on my hoods and put my hands pretty close together. Again, I get narrow bars, so I think I have a little edge there. I rode with my, I guess, Hyper 50s. So not a super shallow, not super deep, just kind of middle of the road kind of wheel set. I like the new 67s, 60 front, 67 rear. They're probably a touch heavier, maybe a little more aero, but I thought the 50s were kind of a good balance between the two. It's really important on these accelerations like this to be cognizant of, you might think you have a gap and you're opening it up, but there might be a guy just glued to your wheel. So, kind of factor that in if, you're thinking about kind of participating in trying to get away. There's this little power climb that, again, I try to roll into as fast as I can. I might have yelled, "Go, Brian," here, thinking, maybe we had separation. I come around him, 600-700 watts. And glance back and see, nah, this isn't the spot. So hit the reset. Again, so Talia's up the road. We got the first place is up for grabs. I think we might have a minute gap on us. I don't know that we got a ton of time gaps. Most of the motor refs kind of had to stay behind us because they can't shout out time gaps when we're going 50 down a hill. Plus, this is an open course, so center line rules in effect on the whole thing. So there's traffic coming the other way potentially. And then there are some flaggers, but as you'll see, there's traffic going the same direction sometimes. Here comes an attack up the right side by Brian on the third lap. And, I'm slowing to 13 miles an hour. Like, hindsight, I should have probably made an attempt to chase it. But, you know, too little too late now. I'm not gonna chase now when I'm gonna drag the field up. If I can't get across solo or only taking one rider, then I'm gonna respect the break and let it go, versus dragging the field up. I just think that's kind of, I don't know, not my style. I guess because I don't like when people do that if I'm in the breakaway. So do unto others when you can. So now, I slowed it way down, and no one else seemed really obligated. Ariel's coming up in the rear camera. He's going to move to the front. So is Adam, the other teammate of Vitalio. And everyone else is still just kind of looking at me to to do something, or maybe they didn't have legs to try to, you know, any hard effort to bring it back. I mean, we're not dumping watts up this little riser here at all. Um, so now at this point, we're kind of racing for third place. I think some people were maybe getting frustrated, with Ariel or Adam. I think I talked to him after. He said someone was chirping at him that you weren't doing any work. I'm like, you weren't supposed to, dude. Your team's up the road. You didn't get in anyone's way. Stay near the front, and if a move goes, you follow it across. But otherwise, you have no obligation at all. And I think maybe just some riders either don't understand that, or your heart rate's up, it's hot, you're not maybe thinking 100% clearly. Why aren't you pulling through or doing this? And so anyway, so I do kind of try to chase where I can, without putting a ton of watts down. So this downhill, this is kind of my bread and butter here. I don't know if someone said you were fastest on the day here. I don't know. I think that the KOM is probably with Top Tube Tuck. But this guy behind me, I think Peter, man, he was glued to my wheel the whole race. So it was, you know, if I drop back, he's going to drop back behind me. I put in a strong effort here. That's what it was. Sketchy here. Got a truck coming up. I hope that turn signal's accurate. And then just after that, I got a car stopping and a car coming. So three-way disaster. I throw my arm up and signal to the riders behind me. I scream as loud as I could, hoping the driver's here. We all made it through there, but what gap we were starting, and I was really going to invest in that move and then try to do a little power climb here. I wasn't able to snap the elastic, partly because of that, partly because I didn't have great legs, and a lot because probably not wise to do 9 races in 8 days. Your legs probably aren't going to do what you tell them to. But so it comes back together here. So I kind of let it reshuffle.
I kind of fucked it over.
Kind of let everyone back on. Try to breathe.
That was dangerous. I was like, I hope that left blinker's not alive.
Take some hydration.
Fuck.
I think I said I'm glad we're all still alive. That kind of is paramount to taking a picture standing on a plywood box at the end of a race. So safety first, obviously. I think this is the conclusion coming up here. We got that last little riser and then the downhill before the finish, which will then start the fourth lap. Here comes my boy Peter. He wants on my wheel. Yeah, it's definitely more challenging.
Requires more than a
You know,
forearm
when
bandage.
everyone is watching you kind of vigilantly.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a
It
good
was the
strong
1-2 of
snap
the
and
car checked up
some
to the
staying
right. You
power
know? So I tried to
to
call
get
it out.
away. So trying to minimize the gap to the group up ahead of us at every chance that I can, again, without putting out, huge numbers. So all the downhills, I'm okay going to the front because I'm gonna, tow the field faster than, Ariel or Adam here in the rear view. And they're doing what they should do, which is stay at the front, but you know, don't up the pace any more than the pace is going. Um, this kind of really starts to suck after a while. Um, I don't think I was. I know I'm fatigued. I mean, if I don't know, my heart rate just seems too low for what I'm doing. Like it wouldn't go up what I needed it to. I'm only 153 watts. I felt like I was. I mean, 153 beats right there. I mean, I felt like I was at. I don't know, man. 190 beats, which I think I redlined about 185 beats per minute. But I don't know, just fatigue and zero heat adaptation. Heat adaptation during a race is is not ideal. You usually want to have it before the race. But I don't think we're gonna have any cold races anymore. I'd be okay if we did. I was complaining, I'm tired of the rain. I'm tired of the cold. I just want it to be hot. Then I get the first day of heat, and I'm just like, screw this. I want it to be cold and rainy again. That was better. I'm not ready for the heat. So, uh, anyway, so kind of splits apart here um, as we conclude the third lap, going into the fourth lap. I'm not really worried. Um, I'm feeling like at this point, I don't think I'm going to be able to get across. Um, and so I'm going to just climb this hill at my own pace. Um, I'm confident I can, you know, reconnect if they get up the road on this last section once it tops out and once we start the rollers into the fourth lap. So kind of just limiting losses here, keeping them within range. There, my heart rate's coming up a little bit, but still, I mean, this is the fourth lap, so we'll see bell lap next time through. I finally pull over. Peter is not gonna lose my wheel. He's not gonna come through. I'll slow down. I'm like, okay, that's fine. If I'm not holding you up, you're not slowing me down by sitting on my wheel, so it's all good. Which, as you see or will see in the in the conclusion when I wrap up the end of the video here, it worked out okay for Peter. So um, yeah, I've never attacked on this stretch here. Um, Partly because that climb, that finishing climb, and up to this point, it's pretty long. Um, and you got to have pretty good fitness to then at the top pull away. Like, if you're a pure climber, that to me is a great spot to attack. Right from attack the climb, like from that finish line up to this highest spot, and you know get away, recover, and just stay on it. So he's probably thinking, "Oh, this race is over. They're way up the road, man. I mean, we got passed by the moto ref, and I'm not concerned. I can make up ground. You know, on this top section, I think as good as the field. So I see him up there. Um, I know that Thirsty Bear and what did I say the team was? Work Health Solutions, I think. Um, I know those guys aren't going to attack. They're gonna, sit on wheels if anyone does. And so I don't think the field's gonna surge away. Um, and so I'll just kind of slowly reel them back. Not doing huge power. Just I'm super arrow right now, so you know, Peter in my rear view needs to be right on my wheel because I'm not giving him much of a draft. But I think what happens, sometimes with racers, you get separation from the field, and it's a climby race, and you try to get back on so fast that you pop. You got to be disciplined. You can't go above your ceiling. If you get back to them, you get back to them. Um, if you try too hard, you're going to pop and not make it anyway. So, um, you know, it, now I'm back on, and I'm able to just kind of coast and kind of ride to the front and kind of ride through. Um, so I didn't have to go as hard up the climb. Didn't have to put a ton of power in to get back on. Um, Also, I feel like trash right now, so I was okay if they did get away because then I could really sit up. But no, I knew could bring them back there, and we still have a lap and a half of racing left. And I think if we did get a time gap, I want to say it's maybe a minute and a half. Not huge on a course like this, where you can make up time. Uh, but someone needs to kind of start animating it, and I don't think I'm going to be the Walt Disney of animation at this point. So up the power climb, I mean, not a lot of power being put in up the power climb. I mean, 260 watts there. This guy comes through. He doesn't want to try to get across solo, so he kind of soft pedals up, and everyone's just kind of just looking at each other, waiting for the move to jump onto. Um, again, I can kind of roll past these guys pretty easily, open it up. If I had legs, I might have tried to turn this little move into something. Um, this would have been the lap, dude. Obviously, I mean it's going into Bell Lap. There's two guys up the road. If someone's going to get across, it's going to have to be pretty soon. Uh, and I slow way back down. Wait for anyone and everyone that wants to come through. And then I just kind of pass them all again and open up a gap on the downhills. Little to no power. And, I mean, he's doing good at holding on my wheel there. Peter, you're doing good. Um, and also, what else is good is if you can keep your legs moving. I think it's better than just coasting, without your crankset spinning. I think it's better for your legs to get them to perform, just to keep them kind of rolling, even if their free hub's still going. But keeping your legs moving. I'm guessing he has probably a 52 36 crankset on, and I've got a 54 tooth on the front, so he is having to spin out a little bit on some of the downhills to when he needs power to get onto my wheel. I can go a little bit faster before the speed's greater than my leg speed in that 5411. It was Italia's teammate doing exactly what he's supposed to do. I think I'm in the middle, and I think just off to my left and a little behind is Ariel.
He got popped on the last climb after the downhill effort.
I kind of wish I was one of those guys. I wish I had a teammate up the road that I could just kind of sit on and follow moves. No teammates in this one. This is unfortunately not the most popular race. You try to encourage people to register, blah blah blah. But if they've done it before, they know. You're kind of feeding them a line of bull that it's easy, and But I mean, this is fun. Here's a good slingshot example here. So you know, I let the field go in front of me, gap open up, um, but able to just you know roll past everyone. Thankfully everyone kind of holds their lines. When there was 56. I think that might have been the terminal velocity, 56, 57 right back there. But when you're passing people with a huge speed differential, you really hope they hold their line because you got a huge speed and you don't want to go down, et cetera, et cetera. So um, Peter's doing everything he can to try to stay in my draft. Um, open up the gap. I think that's Adam. And yeah, everyone's still kind of there. So no point in then trying to power over this. You know, if you don't have separation going into this little riser, you're probably not going to get it coming through it. But if you do have separation, then you can kind of open it up sometimes. So um, and we all made it. Again, I slow way down. No one pulls through. Like guys, we're coming into bell lap. Um, 9, 10, 11. This should already be accelerated up to 20, 25 by now. But I think everyone's maybe just a little bit cooked. I'm hoping they were because I was a lot cooked. So I let the gap open up again. Just the last little downhill, and I'm gonna roll through the front. I think I kind of tested it here a little bit. You can see I put down some power here just to see. Is this the move? Do I got it? No. These guys still have enough legs to stitch that back up. So as soon as I see that, I shut it down. I'm not gonna power it all the way up to the another 200 meters for just dragging people. Again, now I'm slowing down to 9 miles an hour. No one wants to pull through. I think because they know I'm going to slingshot past them on the downhill. So keep me in their sights, maybe. I don't know. And this is the last little descent again into the finishing climb. Coming into bell lap. And that was, I'm not really trying to attack there. I just had enough speed. I wanted to get to the front, and I wanted to get to the left side in front of these guys, and I didn't here, which is okay. But again, this climb is a bit. I mean, it wasn't super windy, but it's a right to left, and so always try to be mindful of wind direction and position yourself on the sheltered side of other riders when you can. All else being equal, kind of thing. I think at this point I'm cooked. I'm frustrated. I'm thinking we're not gonna bring it back. Field's not motivated. I'm hurting. I start letting guys go even before the start finish line. Let a gap open up here. Maybe not here. Maybe I think right after this last little dip in the finishing climb. Um, Teammate Jeff Qualley's, he sees me. He can tell each time I come through, like I'm not on a good day. But thinking, maybe I'll let's open up, we'll get a little recovery in, and have kind of a second wind. I did not. 0 watts back to the field, kind of coast through so I can then sag back again on this last little pitch to the start finish. I thought, is this a move? Do I want to follow it? And I think at some point I said to myself, no. And I sit back down, kind of let my watts drop down below 500. Y'all can cut through. I'm good with that. Oh, where my boy Peter is. If he come around me?
Oh,
That was a little.
a lot
We're
of
good.
road.
We're good. We kind of threaded through there, but no harm, no foul. Oh, I think he's just off screen, just kind of off my right hip. Um, the motorists are probably looking at each other going, make up your mind, Mark. Are you going to stay with the group or are you going to fall back? Because we'll pass you. Because last lap I left the gap open up and chased back on. There he is. There's Peter. But I think he's telling me, hey, man, I'll work with you if you don't try to drop me. And I think I said, dude, I'm okay, man. I don't want to race for third place today. So
I've got the legs. I can't teach you anything today. I'm sorry.
so, but if you want, I'll get you back on to the field. And so now it's just kind of like, okay, I got something
Stay on power to get back on your own
to race for a little bit. Like I'll bring you back. Maybe I can set you up for try to grab that third podium spot.
I don't race for third, so I'm just pedaling, man.
Fine energy. That's the other guy.
So I think I took both these guys up.
It's all good.
I think it's
Race is up the road.
Jimmy or David. Terrible
Hop on,
names.
guys.
He's a good rider. He's a good climber. So here goes me towing. This is a little bit bigger gap to have to close down. And again, it's now bell lap, right? We got last lap. We got maybe 9 minutes, 8 minutes of racing left, and they're up there. But I'm Aero TT. Just try to. I can put in steady power pretty good even when I'm fatigued. But it's when you got to surge up. The surging and stuff is more fatiguing to me than just kind of settling in. And I think I settled in at like maybe 300 watts. But I got my pinkies on my hoods and my hands in from that, and my bars are so narrow. I'm not doing the puppy paw. My hands are gripping so you see the jiggle because that's my thumb, but that's how close my hands are. They're only 2 or 3 inches from touching. So I very aero, very efficient position, and just trying to pace these guys back on. And you'll see we do catch them here in a couple of minutes. I actually caught them at a pretty good spot. My patented slingshot downhill descent move. You'll see. Tried to set these guys up to finish. For the I guess they go 5 deep on podiums on this one, but yeah, third place is still in play. I think in Peter's mind, he didn't maybe think that, we can't get back on that. But, like, yeah, I can get you there. I'm going to be slower than crap up that finishing climb, But I'll empty it. I'll get you there. Um, Sooner I get you there, the sooner I can sit up, I guess is my motivation. Because try to be, if I said I'm going to do it, I'm going to try my level best to do it. So, you gotta go hard when it's hard, and go a little easier when it's easier. And so, on those little punches, you gotta ramp it up. That's kind of pacing, and that's how you can get back on. So finally, a little downhill, I can, still just kind of spinning the legs, but definitely heart rate for having fatigue. I think I hit 170. That might be as high as it goes with the amount of fatigue I had coming into this race. So, but they're just within reach. And so now it's a little bit more kind of timing, I think, at this point. Where do we want to reconnect? And is there an opportunity to create kind of a counter move by riding through the field and forcing them to chase? I think that's what we end up doing. I guess the one nice thing about being off the back, you can't mark me if I'm off the back. So, uh, you know, the field's probably looking, who's gonna ramp it up. They weren't going super fast, or obviously wouldn't be able to bring it back, but they're still out there. So it took most of this lap to close this down.
That's all good. Just ride your race, man. Don't worry about me.
Peter kind of comes in front here. Get a little
recovery.
recovery.
Up to him if we stay together on the downhill.
He was pretty fresh. He rode smart. He didn't use a ton of watts. I think he's probably going a little hard here, in hindsight. Like, he sees him and I just want to get back on. I'm going, no. Let's catch him on the downhill, not on the climb. So I don't even know if they see us. This is kind of fun when you just kind of ride through. But this is about the right distance you want to get them on the downhill.
Okay.
So here we go. Are we going to catch back on? Get some high speed action here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we should have tried to get closer on that one, because I don't know if we catch him here. It kind of flattens and then it kind of drops off again. But as you'll see, we do catch him, and then I put on what I have left. I would have liked to have set Peter up here with, maybe one more downhill pull and slingshot beyond this. But, we're coming into them. You can see we're closing hard now. They're already kind of slowed up. Ideally Peter would be maybe a little more on my wheel right here. But, we're going to ride through them fast. Not the ideal line. You got to, watch that center line. Car coming. But here I empty it, and I just kind of say, just go.
Go, man. It's all you.
And give him a gap. And he's going, man. So now I'm kind of like, that's what I had to race for. So now these guys have to really put on an effort because they didn't have the speed going into that lap. And they almost caught first and second on the finishing climb, but Peter, my rear view camera homie there, that I kind of tried to do a solid, got him back on, rode him through the field and tried to launch him. He's able to hold on. He actually gets third place, so he wins the field sprint. It's not in camera because at this point I'm just like, I'm just going to roll it back in here with you, but I think I've waved the motor ref through. But anyway, Fun race. Yeah, I'm human too. Um, you know, let post some reality videos. It's easy to post a video when you win, but it's kind of fun to post a video when you don't have a great day. You still learn from it. I can learn from it by watching it. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you guys on the next one.